into a new segment I'd like to call Confessions of an Introvert. So, I don't know, I was just thinking about it the other day how introverted I seem to be back in high school. I would repeatedly skip lunch and I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be with people even though they were my friends. I didn't want to deal with people at the lunch line. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to bump into someone on accident because it was a long line. I didn't want to deal with the teachers. I avoided it like the plague. Like, I would not go at all. By the end of my senior year, I had like $50 left, to spend in the last week. And so I did, because I didn't want my parents to get the check back and think that I hadn't used any of their money like the entire year. So I ate a whole bunch of food and shared it with my friends and stuff. And actually went to lunch the last week, but I didn't like it. I didn't like talking. I didn't like that weird break in the day. I just wanted some alone time. When I look back, I'm like, wow, that was super loner Sean of me to do, and it was just funny. I don't know if I'm the only person who does this, but at work when I'm going down to warm up food and eat lunch and stuff, and there's someone in the kitchen warming up food and they're waiting at the microwave, I will go to the bathroom or do anything else so I don't have to talk to them for 2 minutes while their food is warming up, because I will really just turn around. I will just be walking, and then all of a sudden I'll turn around and go the other way if I see someone in the kitchen I don't want to talk to. I even do that to my own house sometimes. If I see one of my parents and I don't really want to talk to them, I'll just turn around and walk back into my room, because I don't enjoy the human interaction. It's just painful to make small talk like that, and it's always oh, how's your day going? Okay, good. And it's weird. Then you're standing there for 2 minutes checking the weather or text on your phone, and it's just, ugh. I don't know if this is just me, but when we have big family dinners, my family invites everyone. They're always huge things, even for birthdays and stuff. I will, after we're done eating, instead of being a subject of conversation, I will get the dishes off the table and go wash them. And my mom's always like, oh my god, you're such a good kid. And I'm like, yeah, no, I just don't really want to talk to everyone. And even at family reunions, I'll do the same thing. I'll go to wash dishes or go outside and do something. I enjoy being with people, but there's something about being around a table and that possibility of being brought up or having to answer for something or answer something and you don't want to. It just, I don't know. I've always done that too. I think I'm one of the only people who does that, but I enjoy cleaning because it gets me out of talking to people, and that's something that I just obviously can't stand. Oh, okay, so one of my biggest introverted things that I absolutely hate is, you're sitting around and you're opening presents, and the way my family does it is, a person opens a present, or maybe two people open a present at the same time, and you get your reactions for it, and then you move on to the next person, so on and so on. And these present opening things take hours, and it's just so painful because I'm sitting there and I may genuinely like what the person gets me, but I don't know what kind of reaction they're expecting. I'm opening a gift, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, and I feel how fake it sounds, and I feel bad because I know it probably sounds fake, but I really do enjoy it, but I don't want to sound like I don't really like it. I dread birthdays and Christmas present opening because I don't want to sit there and wait for people to see what I'm gonna do. I'm like, oh, it's a present, it's really cool, thank you, move on to the next thing. Or you get something for someone, you give it to them, and I'm not really expecting much of a reaction, and they do the same thing, and I just I wish there was a way for me to just tell you, you don't have to say thank you, or you don't have to be all oh, it's the best thing ever, when it's, it's not. And it's one of those things I hate. It's a social interaction disconnect with me and apparently everyone else in my family. So when I'm in the car with Katie and we go to a drive-thru, or even when we're in a restaurant, and we're sitting there and you pick out the food, and that takes me a while because I gotta weigh my options, then I pick something, and and she'll tell me, she's like, this is what I want, if I'm doing all the talking to drive-in. She's like, this is what I want. I'm like, okay, so I press the button, I go to order, and then for whatever reason I tense up and forget everything. I know what I need to say, and it goes out of my mind somewhere, and I can't remember it. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, what did you want? She's like, I told you I wanted this and this. I'm like, oh crap, and I can barely remember what I wanted. It's just a terrible situation. Then at restaurants, they're like, what do you want? I'm like, can I get this? And I know that they have it. I know that they're gonna cook it for me, but I always feel like I'm asking so much, a life debt of a person to go get me a sandwich in a restaurant, and it's just so grueling that I have to ask someone to do something else for me, and I hate that feeling of, service, I guess, on other people's part. I can't stand that being waited on feeling, or having pressure to be like, you're deciding what you're getting, so decide, and I'm going to get it for you. And I'm like, well, I'll just take whatever's easiest. And I find myself doing that a lot. So I'll be singing, along in the car, and I'll do this in the shower. I like singing along to stuff when nobody else can hear me, or really hear what I'm singing. I just like to sing for myself. So I'm driving in a car, I'm singing the song that I have pumped up really loud, and really having a good time. And then this car pulls next to me. You stop at a stoplight, and this car pulls up next to me, and I stop singing. It doesn't even matter how loud the music is. I'll just be like, and I'll wait, and I'll wait, and I'll wait till they'll pass. And then if I go ahead of them, and I see them coming by, like, I will stop singing too, and I'm just like, and because it's just like, I don't even think they can see me, or they even care. But it's the fact that maybe they do, maybe that's super embarrassing, and they hear me, and it sounds terrible. I can't stand that feeling, so I just stop singing altogether and wait until they pass in their car. And usually, it's always a huge guy. He's super intimidating too, like every single time. When I have to ask someone for something, like if I have to ask my parents, when I was like 16 and I had to ask them to go out and be like, hey, is it okay if I go out to so-and-so's house? Like, they don't even care. Like, my parents are probably the most easygoing parents you'll ever meet. They don't care half the stuff I do. But even so, I had to mentally prep myself for like hours, be like, well, or come up with a story. Be like, if they say no, well, come up with another option. Or it's the same, asking my boss a question. I have to mentally prep for that for like weeks. If I'm going to ask for even like a day off, I just have to mentally prep for it's grueling and agonizing. And it's like, I wish there was a better way for me to do it, but there's not. I feel like, I don't know. I think it's that service thing. Like, I can't ask something of someone easily. I feel like I'm putting them off, or who knows. And it's just, it's a horrible, horrible feeling. I swear. It's like the worst part of being introverted for me, I think, is that asking people for things, it's just such a weird, like, ugh. If I have to make a phone call, I will sit there and I will dial the number like 15 times before I actually hit okay, and I'll rehearse what I'm going to say, and I'll rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, and then when I get to the phone and I have to talk to them, inevitably they're probably not there, and I have to leave a voice message, which is, I think, even more awkward than talking to a person on the phone. It's just both of them so much, and I mentally prep myself on, this is what I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to talk to them about, and then we're going to hang up. And I think the only person I can do that with is like my dad, and everybody else, it's like I fumble over my words and I can't get it out, and it's a horrible thing, because then I end up feeling an idiot, and the phone call takes like 3 times as long, and like sometimes I'm having a conversation with someone in person, and I just all of a sudden they're talking a lot, and I'm really liking what they're saying, but I want to add conversation, but I don't want to be rude and interrupt, so I just kind of wait till pretty much the conversation's dead, and then I try to get started back up with whatever I want to say. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I might post more like this. Just want to kind of get some of those things off of my brain. So enjoy my introverted awkwardness on this channel, which you probably already see a crap ton of. So I'll see you later. Goodbye.